All right, so we got the ultimate score, $45,000 for this house. We're definitely buying it, no matter what the issues are. And we talked to her. She owns 3 houses. In fact, one of them she's living in right now. The other one's vacant. It's just like this. So she's like, yeah, I didn't really want to sell it. And we just kept talking. Man, we have been here for an hour and a half, just like building rapport with her. So now we're gonna go check out that house and try and buy it as well. But what a day, you know? And so what we're gonna do is take you through this house and then break down the cost. Should we flip it? Should we rent it? Go through comps with Hard Money Joe. And then just like I said, right now, we're gonna go check out this other one. So let's go. Ground up investing. This shit is kind of intense, but amazing. Let's go. All right, Jackson Wilkie with the Ground Up Real Estate Investing channel. I am documenting my house flipping business from the start. Today, we're gonna be buying this one house, hopefully 2. It's been a few days since I've actually shot this video, and I'm glad that I waited because this is gonna be the most action-packed video. We're gonna talk about not only the cost of flipping the house, we're gonna talk about some major title issues that came up. This deal almost completely crashed and burned, so I'll bring up the title report. This is something I have learned more on this house flipping adventure than almost, well, this is my 3rd one. So I'm brand new at this, but every single flip you do, you learn so much more. And this one has a lot of title issues. So I'm gonna bring that up so that you can see it. So the one thing that I've learned, I talked to Hard Money. If you guys have been following me, Hard Money Joe, sometimes when you find these more affordable or these cheaper properties, they're gonna have some title issues. But I'm also gonna bring it up towards the end of this video, how we cleared all these title issues. Unbelievable story you're gonna wanna wait for. Next, we are gonna flip this property. You're gonna hear me talk about what my contractor says in here for a budget. It surpassed that by a huge number. In fact, there were some issues that we found when we went back and looked again. Again, I'll break that down. I'll break down the full budget. And lastly, I don't know why, maybe I'm sick in the head, but I'm kind of excited that this house has some foundation issues. It's got a pretty good slope to it down. And so I actually reached out to a foundation repair, and if you saw in my first flip, the foundation came up at the end in the inspection, and it about killed that deal. The company said that it would be a $35,000 fix just to do the foundation, not including all the pipes that broke. It was a disaster, but I called that company to come back out and give me a quote for this house. So what am I gonna do? Do what I always do. I'm going to show you exactly what that quote is and what the work needs to be done. So this house needs a foundation repair. It needs a complete tear down of the garage. It has major title issues, but the good news is it has the sweetest seller on planet Earth. She is the nicest lady ever. So you're gonna be able to hear us talk to her, tour some of these properties, and then go through the entire budget, breakdown, title, you name it. If you wanna start flipping, this is a video you're not gonna wanna miss. So let's head out and tour the first property. Oh, did I mention we might buy a second one in this video? Yeah, let's check it out. All right, so as you can see, again, I walked right up. I didn't want to bring the camera and just shove it in her face. So now she's really sweet. Wow, what a nice lady. And I told her, can I bring the camera in so I can show my wife and all that. So I didn't want to shove the camera, but obviously, you know, I've got the recording on my phone. I just kind of held it. So we'll get, you know, some of the insight, but this is basically a 800 square foot house, and then immediately, you know, you run right into it. It's pretty obvious with these massive cracks here that you've got foundation. And this one too. This is really gets, because that ceiling right there is popping down, and I don't know if the camera does it justice, but it's down considerably. So you can see it kind of cracked and pulled the countertops down. So just running some of the initial numbers, I sent it to Hard Money to see what his comps come out, but this is more in that 140,000 range, I believe is what the comps are. Maybe I'm wrong. If it's like 180, this is ultimate home run, but if it's 130, 140, getting it for 45 to 50,000, $50,000 reno, it leaves you, you know, with realtor fees and all that, like 10 grand, 15, so there's not a lot of space. So I'm like, this thing is rentable right now. And you buy it for 50 and just rent it. Man, that might be the way to do it. I got to talk to Hard Money about it, but. All right, so again, I shot this video a couple days ago, so I already have this information. I did talk to Hard Money. This was the actual text conversation. We've been talking a lot, but I was basically asking him, hey, if this property is this, you know, cheap, which it is cheap, right? But the thing that if you're gonna flip this, you know, the budget's, we're already at what, $60,000, which you'll hear in a little bit. Well, it's considerably more than that. So, you know, even the profit margins once we flip it isn't the biggest that there is out there, and there's a lot of risk. But my thought was like, well, maybe this could be one that I keep, right? And, you know, so I was like, you know, or sell this thing and build up profit. If you remember, we went to those greenhouses and we were talking about tearing those down and building up multifamily. You know, so I'm like, again, I'm building this real estate investment business from the ground up. I don't really know, but my initial gut feelings like, let's just flip, build capital, and we'll go from there. And he's like, you know, 45,000, give her what she wants so that, you know, other investors don't come in. And I did find out later on she'd had, you know, lower offers from investors, but, you know, she really liked that. We've built a great, you know, rapport with her, and she's just an amazing person. So this deal, you know, we're closing up on. So he said, I always like keeping stuff and deep enough that you can get all your capital back out. And I was just curious, did you like start flipping? Like, how do these people who've done hundreds of flips or you know, do hard money lending, like, where do they start? He said he wholesaled first, then did his first flip, then like you, me and my general contractor partnered a bunch of them, but the last 2-3 years really only bought things to hold them. So the rest of this, I don't really need to go through that message, but my curiosity was like, okay, this property, maybe I can buy it for, you know, 45,000, 35,000, whatever the price is, and then I could just rent it out. Well, the rents over in that area, you know, for something like that might only be 600, 800. And so that's when I learned about like Class A, Class B, Class C, and I think there's Class D renters. So obviously Class A renters is going to be your highest pool, you know, the most expensive and nicest renters. And then obviously D would be the, you know, the lower end of that. So in this spectrum, you might be working with some of those Class C, Class D renters. And he's like, the horror stories are crazy. So you might have this nice property, but the people you rent it for, they don't care about it and they're going to destroy it. And you know, you got to deal with those issues for just a couple $100 a month. I'm going to stop everything right there and just say, you know, I personally and with my wife enjoy doing the house flipping. So yes, we're going to get back to this video. You're going to hear everything, but if this is my YouTube channel, I just want to be able to tell you exactly what my thoughts and feelings are. And that is that I want to do as many flips as I can, build up capital. I understand there's, you know, capital gains, there's taxes, a lot of money that you got to pay, but I've also had my personal CPA and I'm asking him a lot of questions, and I have a financial advisor because I'm really putting a lot of money away into 401ks and those kind of things. There's so many different avenues that you can park money to offset taxes. So if this is what I freaking love doing with my wife, we're having a blast doing it. It's what we're going to do. Trying to manage, you know, Class C, Class D tenants, you know, for a couple $100 a month isn't something that I really want to do right now. So maybe down in the future. So again, we're not going to rent this one. We are going to flip it, and let's get back out there. I'm going to take you guys around. This is obviously, you come in the front door, and she is a cleaner. It smells amazing in here. But you got a living room, dining room, and then check out this kitchen, man. This is back in the day. It's just simple, you know? So you got a little like vacuum closet here, little counter space and a microwave, and you can see, if I just stand here, it's kind of, but you can see the slope of that microwave. That's how much this foundation's leaning down. You can feel it. Again, same with the fridge. So my camera's on balance, but you can see everything's just leaning down. So definitely foundation issues. Here's the kitchen, and you do have a nice little, you know, counter or cabinet up there, stove down here, and this is tile flooring, so looks pretty nice. Then you have this super old heater. I guess it doesn't work. And with that, she said that heats and cools, so that's a window unit heater and cool, you know, AC. Little coat closet here, and then you've got like for linens, it's got the holes in there. She's like, yeah, it lets the air through. And then down here, I don't know, laundry, dirty clothes, but you've got a pretty decent room in here. Just a few things in here right now. Got these holes from wherever I don't know, a bunch of shit. She said she didn't even know what the hell this guy did. But anyways, I mean, again, going in those houses yesterday with all the fleas compared to this is night and day. It smells good. And these are decent sized rooms. And it looks like pretty nice newer windows as well. And then you've got another AC heater unit in here. And you can kind of see now. So as you can see right there, we've got 2 window unit ACs and heaters. And then there's like in the living room, there's like this big long vertical box. It's like the original heater of the place. Again, I think this house was built in the 40s. So that's when my contractor said, hey, Jackson, we got to put central air into this thing. So in Texas, where we're flipping, it's got to be in there or else people aren't going to buy this thing. So we're going to, I think the cost, again, I'm going to break down here in a little bit. I'll show you the exact budget. It's well over what we say in this video, and I'll break it down line by line. But we're going to put in a new air conditioner. That means not only a brand new, you know, condenser, everything outside, but the whole ductwork and the whatever the hell you want to call it up in the attic as well. So the whole entire system. It's a pretty major cost, but we want to make sure that we sell this thing with AC so that we can get top dollar. So that's got to go. And you can kind of see now that foundation, you know, cracking a little bit. So obviously I haven't done a foundation. I know, you know, on this channel, I'm going to be doing one sooner than later. I would imagine it's coming pretty soon. So I don't know the damage that it does to these houses after you lift them up, but it seems like it's a pretty common thing. So you just got to factor that in. If we level this thing, how much more damage it'll cost. All right, so as you can see there, major foundation issues, and this is something that I brought up. So as you can see right here, I was shocked to see that it was gonna cost $1,250, and I mean in a good way. I've never done these foundations before, and I'm actually pretty excited. I'm going out there in 2 days. I'm gonna watch him do this whole thing. So I'm excited, and of course I'm gonna film it and see, and then I'm gonna ask him a lot of questions. But you remember, or I don't know if I showed it in the house or if you're gonna see it here in a little bit, but when you walk, it's considerably downhill. I mean, the microwave leans down, the fridge leans down, and it pulled the cabinet. But this is their reference point. Again, if you saw my first flip, we learned all about reference points, right? So they found one right in the middle, and from there, basically it's this whole back half that they feel like they can bring up and level. And so this is on a slab. They're gonna level it and do foundation work. The scope of work is install pressure pier type system. And I'm not quite sure what pressure pier type systems are, but I'm gonna learn it next time I go out there. And this is not like a pier and beam like the honey cut where it's up on blocks. This is on a slab foundation. So they're gonna level, correct elevations throughout the entire house. We'll see how much damage this causes as well with pipes, with drywall. We'll see. We might have to go there beforehand and really look at stuff. So, or we're gonna. So 1,250. And then they give you a bunch of stuff, you know, to review as well. But right now we're looking at a $1,250 cost, and that's just to level it. And of course, the first thing we're gonna do is do this first before we start any renovations to really make sure that we're not destroying any of the work that we've done. But from what I've heard, hopefully, you know, we can get into this, you know, and do it without too much of a hiccup. But I've heard some horror stories of when you go to level these things, the houses pop and crack, and then water pipes, you know, sewer pipes, they can crack and break. And so from there, you know, it can add thousands of dollars to this expense. I don't know, but obviously this is something that we went into fully knowing that we got to level this foundation. We're okay with it. And again, I'm going to document it. So we will see that in a couple days, but let's get back into this house. So actually, I was sending the video off and this came back. So you can see here, it increased by $1,000. So it's actually going to cost me $2,250. And the reason is because when they actually looked at it again, they were just going to build up the back, but then it was going to basically build a big hole right here in the middle. So they have to come in and do internal piers. I'm really interested to see how this works. I'm going there tomorrow, but we got 4 more piers here. So you can do the math. You know, these piers are about $250 a piece. So yeah, $1,000 more. And again, could break some stuff. We have budget of over $4,000 for this. So may not need it all, but now we got to pay $2,250 instead. Oh, and don't forget, I'm going to be breaking down the full budget here in a little bit, and then the title issues. So we had to clear some title issues on this. You're going to want to see what those were and how we were able to clear those as well. So let's get back out there to the video. And then it's built in 1940, so I can't remember. Ismail's going to come in, my contractor, talk about plumbing and all that, but it does have a really cool detached garage. Pretty decent sized yard with a beautiful tree, it's fenced, good sized long driveway here. You can see how long this driveway is, really, really long, and a carport here that goes into the garage, which immediately you look into it, and I'm like, God, what do you do with this? Like, I mean, it's completely out of whack. You guys see that? There's all these different levels. It's just completely wavy, nasty. So I didn't know what you can't really level it. And so my contractor, the first thing he did when he walked in, he goes, oh yeah, you just jackhammer this out and replace it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So you come and bust all this concrete out and then just pour a fresh slab in here. But you know what that cost is, I don't know. And how the framing is all on these boards here, I noticed that right away. But they're kind of buckled in and rotting a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see if this whole garage could stay. All right, so this was one of the first things that we noticed in there, was that obviously the foundation of that garage was all buckled and sometimes 4, 5, 6 inches higher than other spots. And I was pointing at the green board, I call it green board where I'm from, but the baseboard, that goes on the slab, and I was like, man, it's like buckled, it's rotten. So in my first thought, I was like, this thing, it's gonna fall over. And you see that workbench, it's got a big old bow in it, and that garage is really like a selling point to this property, so you'd love to keep it. Well, upon further inspection, we took our framer out there, and he's like, I'm telling you right now, as soon as you go to jacking out that concrete, it's gonna fall over. Like, this thing is not gonna make it. So again, the cost is starting to increase, and now we actually have to tear that entire garage down. So we're gonna be tearing out that garage, ripping out all of that concrete, pouring a brand new slab, and then having to frame a brand new garage. So definitely adds to the expense, but some of you out there might start killing me. I don't really care. Why would you do that? It's probably good. We don't wanna put a bad product out there. And actually, we were talking with you know, the seller, sweetest lady. And I said, you know what, our like favorite thing is making it an incredible product, learning who those sellers are, and here, you know, they're so excited to move into a great house. And we don't ever want this like just kind of band-aid things together. So it does cut into your profits. This is a business, but at the same time, the other aspect of that is I've gone through inspections before, and being in the real estate industry, you know, for a couple years, inspections can really kill deals. And so we really want to make sure that we are selling a good product. And when I go in, I comp some of these properties and I'm looking, you can see these ones that sit for 30, 60, 90, 100, 200 days. And it's because they probably went in there and just did a quick slap ass job, you know? And so we're going to wipe that garage out, build, you know, a brand new frame one. It's going to look amazing, and people are going to be like, look at this, this is amazing. So that's a huge expense. Again, I'm going to break down the budget, but that is another massive expense to this flip. And this is also where the washer and dryer hookup is out here in the garage. So you've got old galvanized piping, and then so your laundry and all that would be out here. The other thing she mentioned, when they turn the water off, because we keep having these freezes in the winter in Texas and the pipes aren't used to it. Like, I'm from Idaho and it's always cold, but here it gets cold, it can be an issue. And they said there was a bunch of water that pooled up right here. So you can see they ran the water from like the house under here and it's going into here. This is where the washer dryer was. So I'm sure there's a pipe, you know, break right here, which isn't a huge deal, but you know, you do have newer electrical box, it looks like. Again, I'll get my contractor in here, and he's also talking to her. She has another property that we would love because the prices are right. So I'm gonna get him in here as well, but then maybe we can go check out that other one she's got, that other property, because she owns 3. She lives in 1, but she's got another one about this size too. So we'll go see what Ismail's doing. All right, so I did an amazing job and I toured this property with my contractor who breaks down everything you need to know. But your boy, he's a complete idiot. I put the microphone on my contractor and I forgot to turn it on. So we toured this whole thing. He was breaking down everything and I didn't have the mic on. Well, the good news is, again, we're a couple days removed. I'll be able to break down the exact budget, which we're gonna do here in just a second. But basically he went through there and started talking about the walls we gotta remove. We gotta do the AC, the foundation, the garage. Actually, there's water lines coming from the house that go to the garage. And as you see, we're gonna have to put the washer and the dryer in the garage. And the pipes I learned from the seller that go from the house to the garage, during the freeze, they burst and there was a big pool of water. So we're gonna have to replace those as well. And it looks like they go under a concrete sidewalk as well. So there's gonna be some extensive work to replace all the plumbing in there. And as we're learning in Honeycut, flip number 2, I didn't even tell you guys, actually my contractor called me. The people that were in there before, they had cut all the water lines all throughout this whole entire freaking house and just did random splices and basically the kitchen sink work. So disaster, we had to completely repipe that house. This one's obviously not like that, but once we do foundation stuff, it could break stuff. And then there's a lot of old cast iron pipe in there and all of that stuff cracks and breaks. So we're probably gonna have to repipe this whole house as well. But anyways, I will break down that budget here in a second, but now we go to the second property. She's like, I've got this other one. I don't want to sell it though. So we're like, well, can we see it? And she let us. So I'm going to take you there. You can just, you know, peek in there. And then me and my contractor, we actually do a tour inside of it to talk about what we would do if we flip it. And then you're going to hear me ask her, you know, what would it take to buy this? It's hard for me. I'm just such a nice person to like ask for the business, but I do it. You'll hear how I do that. But at the same time, you know, her answer to that as well. So we're just really excited about this first one. It's an amazing opportunity. I can't wait to document it on the flip. But let's get to the second house, and then we'll do the budget, and then we'll talk about, you know, the title stuff as well. Well, we're here to look at the second one, and the first thing you notice, 3 brand new houses being built across the street, so that definitely helps. But here we are checking out the next property.
Wasn't expecting company.
No,
That's
you're
okay.
good.
That's okay.
And the battery is dead and this thing's not turning the light on.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
All right. So when was the last time anybody lived in this? So again, she's not mic'd up, so you're not gonna be able to hear her, but she hadn't had anybody live in this for 3 to 4 years. So this is actually a really nice property, but it's just been basically something that she has stored. You know, she lost her father, and you know, she just has some very nice collectibles and things that she wants that are really important to her. And so she's just stored them in this house, as well as the garage and the storage container that's out there as well. So I asked her that. It's been 3-4 years, and unfortunately somebody had like kicked the back door open at one point to take you know, some nice dress shoes and some other things. But other than that, you know, the rest of it you can't really hear. What we'll do is we're probably going to skip forward to me and my contractor going through it and, you know, talking about what we would actually do to open this house and look at it. But before we do that, we actually asked her, hey, is it okay if we film this? So not only do we film it so that my wife wasn't there so that she can see it, but, you know, I'm documenting this as well. She was awesome about it. She said, go right ahead. So now we're going to tour this house and you'll get to, again, hear us break down what we would do to this flip. Well,
you want to do a quick video?
Yeah, let's, we can just kind of go through and then we'll talk to her after.
Sure.
Build some new steps here.
Yes.
So this one definitely doesn't have the cracks that the other one did, so I don't think it's as much.
No. So these, like she said, the foundation on these are just an adjustment away. We may have to replace it. You walk that way. If you're in the hallway, you feel it right down the hallway. It's a little dark, but you feel it as soon as you go in there. Needs a little adjustment here. It's just a few things that need adjustment. Now,
you don't see the cracks in the drywall.
No, because it's not as bad as the other one. The other one's pretty bad. The worst, we can
bigger
definitely
rooms with closets.
Yeah, 2 bedrooms, 2 closets, and like she said, you have the room to expand, Jackson.
What was that?
If you wanted to, you could expand.
Really?
Towards the back, yes, sir. We can definitely expand. The only thing is the breaker box is right there, so it's just
or is it even worth it? This thing is a huge 2-1.
It is like it a lot.
So you get the bedroom here, they're big.
Yeah.
You got a full bath.
Yes, it is.
Closet here, and then you get 2 closets here for the master.
The hallway closet that they always put in these houses.
Yep. Doors you can keep.
You know why they do these hallway closets? Because that's normally where they do your return, air conditioning return.
Oh.
They box it up to use it as air conditioning return.
Instead of just having a bunch of empty space.
Right. They use it. They use it as a closet.
This house has an attic fan in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine does too.
They never did take it out.
Get the air out of it.
The hot air, because it didn't have air conditioning. That's what they used to do back then, was have it attic fans.
Sorry for the cobwebs.
Oh, you're good.
It's okay.
You're good. It brings character. It shows the after, huh, Jackson?
It definitely does.
It helps. No worries. Well, definitely, if you open up this wall, Jackson, man, this would be just like the one that I did in Channelview. Opened up. Same size house, too.
Now you got.
Where would you put the refrigerator?
Where would I put it? So once we actually open this up, I would probably even open up the laundry room and make it probably a little smaller in the laundry room and extend the kitchen a little bit bigger. That's what I would do, so that you can actually have some room for the fridge, for everything. We measure everything out, and then we do a full layout to see what's what. But I would definitely do away with this wall, because this just makes it look small in here. Now, getting rid of this wall and that wall, complete full flush ceilings. You put in a power beam going across right here. All this goes away. We put an island in the middle. The island can come out and over if need be. So you can entertain dining and living and still be cooking, and it's all wide open.
Which is the thing that, we all want our space. We want the
that,
big open. It's cool,
and
but
these houses back then, they wanted the privacy when they were cooking. They didn't want anybody to see their mess when they were here visiting, so they had everything in the back. So that's the way they built them, with so many walls. But nowadays, everybody wants an open concept. Everybody wants it to look bigger, even if it's not bigger. So, but it does get a little bit bigger and more comfortable when you remove the walls, because you can actually set up the furniture the way you want it, and you have the space to move around.
It's a really cool spot, though, Trey. Thank you so much for letting us come in. I mean, I bet, I know you got the house and wanted it, but it's been storage. It'd be so cool to see someone living in it.
Oh, yeah.
So you saw right there, that's another conversation that we had with the seller. I was just like, I already told you, we love making these properties special for somebody. And she agrees. She's like, you know what? I would too. It'd be really nice to see, somebody living in here, not be the storage. But this is where I'm sitting there in my head and I'm like, I really enjoy, my time with this lady. But how do I ask? Because I'm starting this flipping business and this would be a great property. How do you ask for the business? Like, it's really hard for someone like me to do it. So you're going to hear me ask it. It's going to be the next clip here. And then from there, you'll hear her response. Well, I know that, both your neighbors were interested in, and you weren't really ready to sell, but is there like a number where you're like, I could walk away from this, like, and maybe sell it? And we would give you plenty of time to clean it out, but
I don't know.
if you wanted to think about it and then we can talk, and you just say, nope, I'm not ready, I want to keep it, or you know what, there is a number and I don't have to pay insurance or any of that stuff anymore.
Well, I'm thinking, but I've got to do baby steps. It's just me. I have no help.
Yeah.
So just so you know, by the way, I have plenty of trailers and plenty of guys. And if you would say, I need some help, I need a few guys for a few days, I would come in here with a few guys. Personally, I would come in here.
Yep.
We would help you get all your stuff where you wanted it. And if you had stuff that's trash, I'd have a dump trailer right here, straight in the dump. And with stuff that you wanted to salvage and put elsewhere, we'd put it elsewhere wherever you would want it. We would help you with all that stuff.
Yep.
We're super patient. Even if we purchased it for you for tomorrow, let's just say, you would tell me, look, I'm not going to be ready until a week from now. No problem. We'll do the purchasing
or a month,
whatever it would take. I'm just, for example, right?
Well,
and then we would
have to take baby steps.
Sure.
With that one over
Yes,
there,
ma'am.
it's basically empty.
Mm-hmm.
And some stuff that's my daughter's. And she said, I'll come this weekend. Next week she's off, so within the week.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
She'll have her stuff out, and I'll deal with that.
Okay.
And I'll keep your number.
Yes, ma'am.
And, then I'll
Sweet.
start
Thinking about this one, yep. Not a
I
problem.
know I need to.
So, as you can see there, this is probably what a lot of sellers are going through right now. Maybe they've acquired these properties, they don't know what to do with them. But she went from, both of her neighbors wanted to buy it. She's like, oh, I don't really want to sell it to one because then it's going to piss the other one off. So I really like you guys, but I can't mentally do it right now. Like, there's just no way. I got so many things going on and I'm working full time. So maybe when that first one closes, I'll have a little bit of extra money so that I can take some time off work, right? So that's what she said, and she left it. And as you heard there, like, my contractor and we were just like, we'll generally come help you. Like, we would love to do that. We meant it as well because she's just been such a great person. So I think that's what we'll do is we're going to close on the first one, sign on it, and then no pressure at all. If she wants to, great. If not, that's totally up to her. And we'll just, deal with this first one so she knows what it's like working with us. I actually can't wait to get the first one done and show her. I want to invite her over there to see the work that we've done. I know she's going to enjoy that. But I've got to put an offer in on that first one. So we got to crunch numbers. You're going to hear me call my wholesaler, my business partner, Money Mike, Michael, who's been helping me find some of these properties and that conversation. But first, before we get to that, what we'll do is I'll bring up that budget so that you guys can see it, and then the title stuff as well. So, all right, so as you can see here, it actually wasn't as bad. And again, the seller, she was so amazing in this. But one of the things that came up was that, she was divorced years ago, and the dude did not seem like a good dude. So I'm with our seller on this one, and he had placed a lien against the subject property for a payment of, $75,000. And when I saw that, I was like, well, how does this work? So again, I'm like calling, Hard Money Joe and all my people. I'm like, and obviously title. And they're like, yeah, we need to get this cleared because, the proceeds of this aren't going to cover that. And so they called her and she's like, nope, I already paid that. I've got the receipt. Or I don't even know if she paid it, but she settled it, whatever. And she worked, and as you saw there was about 4 line items on there. And some of it had to do with just like plat issues and stuff. She cleared it up. She was a great, great seller. And actually Honeycut, the first flip, the one that we just closed on, that we're already starting to renovate, the last video that, one of the last videos that you've seen, that one, crazy enough, when it came to selling time, one of the sellers went crazy. Like, she wanted an exact dollar amount, so she blew up the deal, told the mobile notary to get the hell out of her house. The other seller that was local, like, he couldn't show up. Crazy, right? So this seller's been amazing to work with, and she was able to clear all of these items off of title. It just prolonged us about 2 or 3 days. So we were gonna close on like a Friday, and now it's gonna be, a Wednesday, but really not a big issue at all. The good news is she's gonna get, her money, and we're gonna be able to close on this and flip it. So that was number 1. But 2 is the budget for this. All right, so here's the final budget that we went through. I'm gonna kind of go through all of it, and I actually made a spreadsheet. So I used Hard Money Lenders, the ones that I use anyways. They give you this budget of like exactly line item to follow, and I created one with the exact line item. So now when we go to these flips, it really streamlines the process. Okay, these are all the things that they will, pay on, and if we don't need to do that in the house, obviously we just write 0, but every line item on there that we need to fix, it will be exactly what they did. So I did a video on it, and I just created a spreadsheet. And in fact, this is what it looks like. I just went to Excel. I'm not good at Excel, but you can type in like new template, and I did budget, and I found one. And then what I did is I went line by line with their budget. So their very first thing they have in there is demo. Then the second thing they have is foundation. So I just copy pasted it right into here, and then I can plug in how much it is, and it's going to give me a grand total, and it's in the exact order. And then if we need to add anything extra that's not on their list, I made slots for that. So I print this off. We have a manual copy, and we can kind of go through and make a bunch of mental notes, and then my contractor goes back and does final numbers on what it would cost, and then it just organizes everything. So now when we go through and do our budgets, it's like exactly what they need to see. So you're going to see foundation leveling $4,750. Now we put that in there at that number because obviously you guys saw the quote. It's going to be, you know, $1,250, but you know, there's going to be a lot of concrete repair. There's going to be a lot of drywall repair. There's going to be a lot of, you know, plumbing repairs. So again, and with the cast iron pipes and sewer pipes and all that, it's just, you know, it's something that I've heard, again, I haven't done it. It can cause a lot of extra damage. So this should definitely give us enough to cover that, you know, and then here is the sewer lines we're probably going to have to, you know, replace. But really, if you go through a lot of this stuff, you know, it's just painting, all that. It's installing new lights. We're going to open up boards. We got to completely do the bathrooms. We got to completely do the kitchen, knock out walls, tear down the garage, break out foundation in garage is $4,450. Pour the new foundations, $3,800. He said concrete right now is super expensive. And then running, you know, electrical, sewer, water, doing everything, and reframe, $4,750. So really, it's going to cost us, you know, shoot, I don't know, 10 something thousand to rebuild that garage, redo it. But I really think that's going to be a selling point over here. That long driveway, big garage, they can store stuff. And plus we got to put the washer and dryer in there. That's where it goes. So that leaves us with a grand total now of $74,000. So as you can see here, you know, we're at a purchase price about 45,000 plus, you know, we're at 74. Let's just call it 75 for incidentals, you know, right there. That already puts you 120,000. And remember, we were hoping the ARV was 138, so you're really only looking at a $19,000 profit. You know, once we, you know, looked at a little more 140s, but I think if we can go top dollar, and here's the next big thing that I think we're gonna try with these flips. My wife stages, she designs, she does amazing, but I don't like, we've been taking basically our own furniture and doing it or buying it. We're gonna probably try and consult with a staging company. It might be, I don't know, a couple $1,000 or something, but have them go out and stage it. We've just done this with our personal houses, and then in real estate, you know, anytime we get clients to actually do that, their houses sell like that, and they sell for way more money. And there's actually a lot of data out there that proves or shows that you can make a lot more money when staging. So what we're gonna do is try and just knock it out of the park with the most beautiful remodel. And it's just the style that we do. We're not the, again, we're not the go in with the low end stuff, low end budgets, and just kind of like get it done. We want to make it look amazing. We've been setting, you know, records. We did it with our first flip. We're going to do it with the second. Again, it could flop. I don't really know. You guys are going to have to follow me and subscribe just to see what happens. But, you know, at $120,000 basically of cost, we're hoping to sell that thing more in that 150-ish range, and maybe even more. Our goal now, you know, is really making that 20, 30 grand per. It's a lot of work, but, you know, doing more and more and more of these, as you've heard in my other videos, instead of trying to make 60, 80, 100,000 on one flip and doing one every few months, why don't we try and do 3, 4, 5 of these smaller ones, make 20, 30 grand, 40 grand, you know, something like that, and scale it that way. So again, I'm being as raw and honest as I possibly can. You know, I'm getting a lot of awesome comments from you guys of like, hey, I'm starting out too. This is the best content. Show me some love. Like, hit that like button. Make sure you're commenting on every video. That's what helps me, and I will keep doing this. But now you're going to hear me and my wholesaler. If you want to hear how, you know, I communicate with him, how we break it down, you're going to hear it. This is exactly how buying a flip property goes. So let's go back out there and talk with Michael. All right, so what I'm gonna do right now is my contractor left and Miss Cherry left. I'm gonna call my wholesaler and just tell him the whole situation. So we definitely want to buy the first one. And here's what I'm thinking. We had such a good day with her, and like she just loved us, ate us up, and she went from not wanting to sell this to like basically, hey guys, once I close on the other one, I'll think about, you know, selling this one. I think I probably would. And she really liked me and my contractor. So I would, even though we got to this one, you know, from the first one, I would still, or am gonna still pay my wholesaler for finding the first one, and even on this one too, because what a great deal. But anyways, I want to fill him in on the entire situation and not leave anything out. And then he's probably going to be the one calling her back to negotiate, or I'll see if he wants me to do it. But I don't want to like undercut him and just like buy this from her. I just want to be transparent. So anyways, we're going to hear from him. I'm calling him right now. Then I'll probably call Hard Money.
What's up, man?
Dude, Michael, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Money Mike.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm at, you know how she sent you the wrong address and it was the other one. Well, I'm standing at that one right now, and I think we're gonna be able to buy it too, but just not for a couple weeks.
Oh, she wanting to sell that one too?
Bro, yeah, dude. I spent a lot of time with her today. She's the sweetest lady ever.
She's awesome.
Let me tell you something.
So nice.
She says she gets calls every day for people wanting to buy stuff. She always brushes them off. She goes, something about that Michael. He was so nice. I just knew I had to work with him. But I think you caught her at the right time too. Like she said.
She said that once her daughter gets all her stuff out, she was kind of looking to get rid of it.
There's like 4 or 5 things in there. So she told you.
She said there's like dressers and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty clean. It definitely needs foundation stuff. I mean, some work, but it's pretty clean.
Yeah, she said she had repair, or she had an estimate for that, but she had to pay like, she's like, I'll give you the estimate for $700.
I'm like, nah, we're all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we want to buy it for sure. How do you ask them, by the way? Like, hey, is there a number that you're thinking you would like?
Yeah, so I always kind of just ask in a nice way. I'm like, hey, is there like a number that like you'd have to let go of it? Because I was like, I don't want to waste your time or my time, because I want to run numbers and kind of see where I have to be, but I'd like to know where you have to be first. That way I don't waste your time. So
okay.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Dude, that's awesome.
She was like, she's like, I know it needs a lot of work, and like, I want us to agree on a price that's fair for me and fair for you. So that's kind of what she said. So.
And my thing is too, we've had such a good talk with her that like, I don't want to super low ball her because I don't want to lose her for one, but two, like I don't want to get like overly greedy with a lady like this and help her out. And then I think that's going to help us with the other house, so it's really nice, but it is packed to the gills with stuff. And then, I thought my camera was falling over.
What stuff is it? Do you know?
It's her stuff, but the other aspect, she has that storage container is definitely hers. It's full of stuff. And then the garage, it would probably have to be torn down. It's about to fall over, but it's full of stuff too. So, but we told her, my contractor here, he goes, ma'am, we're not going to, if you said you needed a week or a month, we'll wait. And when you're ready, what we'll do is I'll bring my dumpster and all the trash will go. And then everything you want to keep, we can move it for you. And she was just like loving that. So
yeah, sweet. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I got her number too, but I don't want to like just deal with this alone with her. I'll have you help me with it, and then we'll settle on a price to offer her, and then a referral to you, and then even if we close on this one a couple weeks down the road, I'll give you the same referral or whatever for this one as well. Definitely, if it's 10 grand on referral, then because it's so what we're thinking is okay, that's 50,000. The rehab's actually going to be about 60 grand. Yep, that budget was off. So again, we thought these numbers were going to be in that 60,000. As you saw, it was a little over 74, maybe $75,000 of reno budget. The foundations, there's some massive cracks.
I was thinking like 135.
Yeah, I had it ARV'd at like 138 because there's one identical that sold for that. So yeah, 135. So that's the problem is like it's 50,000, and then my contractor's like it's probably about 60 grand. It needs to be completely level.
I think I can get it to you for 45.
The whole said and done. Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
And I'll just, if I can get close to 35, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because it's probably a 60,000+ reno. So now we're at 110. The only thing is if we do our work and make it really nice, maybe we can get that thing up to 140, 145, and we can make a little bit extra. It's pretty tight. Yeah, it's got the structure. So the tile shower's so cracked. The edges, there's like a 1/4 inch gap. So it's probably just really rotten behind that. So it's a full gut job.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna give her a call here in a bit and try
yeah, I told her that. She's like, I got her number and stuff. I said, no, my partner Michael, he'll be in contact. He's the one who finds these and negotiates. And then me and Ismail, my contractor, were just like, we come in and do this, and so I think that's the best route to do it.
Yeah, for sure. We've got a good team rolling here.
I love it, dude. Well, thank you so much for this one. And if you haven't watched it yet, I still think the greatest video on this channel is right here. This is my very first time ever using a wholesaler, hard money, getting an LLC bank account. I didn't know anything, and I explain it as raw as it gets. This is the best video on the channel.